Good Sunday morning, people of the internet. I have just been trying to get this camera straight for I don't know how long. Oh, and then it just comes up straight when I press the record button. How very weird is that? Anyway, good morning. Hello, people of the internet. I have a haul. I know. I don't know why. I've stopped now. I have reined myself in. I've said that probably two haul videos ago that I was going to rein myself in. Anyway, I've got a lot of stuff. I didn't think I had, and it feels like this month's gone really quickly. But then when I look back through Amazon and my purchases and stuff, I go, oh, actually, I bought a lot in this month, didn't I? So usually I go through my Amazon and literally go, I bought these pens and then this book and then these, but I'm gonna split it up into two piles because I'm gonna have to do the books after. There's a lot of books. Anyway, move my phone, move my tea, just have a quick sip before we start. Right now, so at the end of my last video, the last book that at the end of my last haul video, the last book that I bought was this, which everyone bought because it only just come out. Everyone bought it because it had just been released. It's what's the time? 8:14 on Sunday morning, and the sun is coming through, and I've got the blind closed, but we're going to get this bit through the little gap. So nothing I can do unless I close the curtain. Hold on. That's worse because we just get a shadow because it's only lit from the top then. So that's I'm sure when other people do this, oh, I'm sorry about this, I think I don't care about this, just get on and show me your stuff. So I'm not going to talk about it anymore unless I try and move you over a little bit. Oh no, I've just got you straight and now you're going to go wonky. Oh Lord, sun's coming out proper. Let me just do the blind the other way, hold on. So it's like 8:15 on a Sunday morning, it's bright sunshine coming through outside, and I've had to close the curtains, and I'm sitting here with the light off and just a lamp here. So I've got a really weird shadow as well. But otherwise it's just too bright. Hopefully you can see alright. God, it's like, welcome to the haunted hall where I show you scary colouring things. I will have to take a photo of what I've got the blind light to make this light come through like this. But anyway, here we go. Finally, stop gabbing and get on with it. So the last book I bought was this one. This is at the end of my last haul, which was middle of April. And I was watching at the time Joanna Bashford's, she did the live colouring series, didn't she, where it was like the book launch. So every day for 5 days she provided some of the pictures you could colour, or you coloured along and all this kind of thing. And on the days that she was colouring, she was using different pencils. So she would use either the Ergo Soft ones that she liked or the Castle Art ones that she liked. And at one point she was using the tube of the Arteza pencils. They was in a tube. And she was colouring and it just looked so nice, and I like her style of colouring. And I watched the live show recording, and I went downstairs and I said to my husband, he said, oh, did you watch the video you wanted to watch? And I said, yeah. And he said, and I said, I want to buy the pencils that she was using, the Arteza ones in the tube. I'm going to put a picture in here so you know what I'm talking about. And he said, you don't need any more pencils. And I went, yeah, I know, I don't need any more pencils, you're right. And what is it? Is it an addiction? Is it just something that crafters have? But it itched away at my head all night, basically going, but they looked so nice, didn't they? You really wanted to use those pencils, didn't you? Didn't they look nice when she was using them? So I did that thing when you're just going off to sleep, and I ordered the Amazon pencils, the ones in the tube. And one thing that I particularly like is that Joanna Bashford said about having just a small set of colours, like 48 colours, because then you don't have to sort of go, oh, which pink, oh, which yellow, which green. And one of the things when she was colouring, she was saying, oh, I'm using periwinkle blue, I'm using pear green, and I was like, oh, that's a nice blue, oh, that's a nice green. And So yeah, I was really, really excited. So I don't know, I tidy up my table while I'm talking to you. I was really excited for them to come. Anyway, when they came, I ran upstairs, ripped open the Amazon box, ran upstairs, opened my colouring book, started colouring with them, and I was like, and I was like, actually they're rubbish. What? And I was like, why did they look so good on? And I was using Joanna Bashford's book, so it wasn't like I was using them on the wrong paper. And so I got the tube and I had a look at it, and on the tube, I thought, okay, what I'll do is I'll use the exact colours that she used, because pigment can vary between pencils. This might have more wax in it, this might have less. I'm going to use the exact colour pencils she used, and she was colouring this. Was it this one? No, it was one with the lighthouse on it, wasn't it? I did it. Well, I started it. So look, I printed out the freebies. Where did I do it? Yeah. So I started colouring it, right, on the freebie. And it was just like, I wasn't enjoying colouring. And I printed this out on the world's best pencil paper. Disclaimer up in the corner. And yeah, they was really scratching. I wasn't... So I thought, I use the exact colours that she used. I won't go out on my own. So I looked through the pencils and I thought, right, where's periwinkle? There was no periwinkle. Where's pear green? There was no pear green. I was like, hold on a second. Have I got a different set of pencils than she had? So I went back and watched the recording, and they were the same pencils in the same tube, and they were the triangular ones rather than the ones that come in the tin are round. They were the triangular ones. And I was like, they look the same, but the colours are not the same as she got in her tube. And Arcturus only make a set of 48 of the triangle ones. So I was like, I don't know what's happening here. And I thought to myself, well, you know something? My husband was right. I didn't need no more pencils. I'm sending these back. And so I contacted Amazon and I said the colours, because on the website, on the Amazon thing on the website, it actually says that you get pear green, and it actually, God, don't I ramble? You just want to see stuff, don't you? I'm going to put a timestamp here if you just want to get to the stuff. And it said on it there was pear green and there was periwinkle and there was the colours that she was using, but when it turned up, they weren't in this tube. So I contacted Amazon and I said, the colours that it says on your description are not in this tube, and they said, that's fine, send them back. So I did. And I was like, well, I learnt my lesson that basically some people are just good at advertising products. Or so I thought. Because then it still itched away at my head. And I have avoided Arteza pencils for two reasons. Number one, I don't trust their advertising, because they seem to be advertising all over the place. When you go on Amazon and you search for Prismacolor, you know, the promoted listing at the top is Arteza pencils. And they sent out a load of freebies to people, and there was quite a lot of biased reviews in the beginning when they first came out. And then there was the whole scandal of the water soluble, you know, but they moved with a little bit of water and all this kind of stuff. So I have avoided Arteza pencils for that reason. But anyway, like I say, it itched away at me. And I was surfing around on their own website, and I found that their tin of 48 pencils, you know where this is going, don't you? Their tin of 48 pencils did have the colours that Joanna Bashford was using in her video, which was periwinkle blue, and there was, what was the other one? There was periwinkle blue, turmeric yellow she was using for the mountain, one of the others pear green. And so I was like, oh, so maybe one of the sets of tubes is old. She has a new tube set which has got the new colours, maybe the new formulation, but in the triangle set. Maybe I should try the tin. Why do we do it to ourselves? Why do we do it to ourselves? Anyway, so I thought, well, I'm not going to. I'll be good. I'm not going to be swayed. And then I got an email, and the tin was reduced to £12.48. Now, £12.48 is cheaper than... I have to hide all those goodies which are trying to fall in and get their turn to be displayed. £12.48 is cheaper than I'd bought the tube for on Amazon, which I think I paid £14 for, because they're like sort of cheaper. And I thought, okay, let's see what happens. Anyway, the tin turned up. I opened the tin, I ran upstairs, and I got out my Joanna Bashford colouring book, and I put the pencil down, and they were like butter. I don't know if they changed the formula. I mean, the colour names were different. A couple of the colour names were different as well. This is when the numbers changed. So in the tube, the numbers were different. So, and some of the names were different. Like one of these was space grey, and it's elephant grey or cloudy grey now. And the numbers are changed as well. So turmeric yellow was just turmeric and had a different number on it than A107 turmeric yellow. So I don't know when they changed over the A numbers, they changed the formula. But if they did, the formula of these is way better than the formula that it was before. And these were like butter. So, basically, about 2 days, within a week of buying this, I bought these. So that's a really long story, isn't it? Just to talk about the first part of my haul. I'm really sorry. It's like justification for everything that I buy. So, no more justification, we'll just go straight into the goodness. So, I bought these, I loved them, I loved using them. The next thing I bought, I said there weren't going to be any more stories. There's going to be a story to this as well. Well, anyway, the next thing I bought is a new pencil case. You've all seen these, you've all got these, we all know that they're the best pencil case. Now, I actually only had one of these, and it was the one with the 4 things, 4 sections, and I think it holds 200 pencils, and I had my set of 120 brute fooners in it. And the problem was I was actually trying to find a small pencil case to hold 48 pencils to put these in, and I couldn't. So I decided that what I was going to do was buy a 120 size pencil case, put my brute fooners in a 120 size pencil case, because the one I was using I'd bought it in 2017, so I'd had for 4 years. And at the time I bought it, I was going to put all my pencils in it. Ha ha ha. I think I was going to put my colour softs and my Prismacolors in it, it comes to about 192, which is why I bought that size. So I started using that one to put my 120 brute fooners in. And the problem is, it was, there were spare spaces and extra leaves and flipping through. So I decided to buy a 120 case. And then this wasn't the original one that I bought. I bought one, wasn't BT Sky or whatever that one. It was by Odd Bliss or something. It was $16.99, the same price as this. And it turned up, and it was, the words I'm going to use now are bent to buggery. It was literally we all know that this is just PVC plastic, fake leathery stuff, with a cardboard backing and then fabric over it. And this one was it looked like someone had trod on it empty, and it had like a crack through the cardboard. So there was a line all the way through. It had lost its integrity. And it was like that all the way through. All the leaves were like that all the way through. Cracked all the way down here. I mean, when it was zipped up, there was a big crease here as well. And I was like, oh. And that was it. I'd bought that one because it was the same make as my 221 that I was already using. So I decided to send that back and try this company, Shulana. No, not enamoured by this big gold embossing on it, which I think I'll probably try and take off somehow. But when this turned up, and I had them both at the same time at one point, because I ordered this, because I went down and said to my husband, paid £16.99, and look at it, it's all squashed. And this one was $18.99, so this one was dearer. And then while I was railing against the world, I'm moaning about it, this one went down to $16.99, so I ordered it before I'd put in the return to the other one. So at one point I had both of them together. I was actually going to do a video and saying, look at the difference between these two pencil cases, because when this one turned up, the PVC is squashier and thicker and more padded. The cardboard, hardboard, whatever's in the background that creates the pages is thicker. You can even see when I literally had them next to each other like this, and it was a thicker piece of cardboard. So anyway, long story short, I bought a new pencil case and I've got my brute fooners in it. So that is item number 2. I promise there's not going to be any more rambling. Oh, I lied. No, actually, I'm going to go straight into the next bit. Okay, so that's item number 2. The next thing I bought was these. Oh, that's my little swatch. Look, I do a little mini swatch that goes in with the pencils. I have my swatch book, but sometimes it's nice just to have a little reference in there. Aren't I sad? Okay, so the next thing I bought, I love gel pens. I'm really into gel pens at the moment, and I don't understand why there's no one making non-glitter 1mm nib gel pens, right? Because you know how the glitter gel pens have got the really juicy wide nibs, and when you know, it's like the ink floats out. But they're all glitter. I mean, they do the pastels and all them ones as well, but I prefer the glitter. I would like them pens that are just as flowy and just as, you know, easy to use, but without the glitter, just for, you know, a difference. Because I've just completed a colouring using the classic colours, the non-glitter versions, you know, that you get when you buy a big set of gel pens. And these are 7-8mm tips, 7mm probably, and it was hard work. I mean, the colouring came out nice. I did put a picture up on my community post and on my Instagram. The picture did come out nice, but it was hard work because you want that flow. And I was like, so I started trying to look to see if any companies made non-glitter wide tip gel pens. I need a drink. Is it just me that justifies all their purchases, or does everyone justify all their purchases? Anyway, so I saw these, and these wasn't expensive. These was on Amazon, $2.99. My voucher had just come in, and whenever my voucher comes in, it burns a hole in my Amazon wallet. And in case you're wondering what the voucher is, my husband and I are taking part in the Office's National Statistics COVID survey, which means every week someone comes around and takes blood samples and stuff, and every time they do, you get a £25 Amazon voucher. Well, actually you get a £25 voucher that you can use on anything, but I use it on Amazon because it's, I don't know, treat money, I suppose. Anyway, so I saw these were $2.99. They are not glitter, and so I thought, oh well, I'll try them. So I ordered them, and let's try my favourite colour, the bluey greeny colour. Now they are very fine, and they don't colour too badly, but they're not I'm going to say they're not one more time. They're not juicy, free-flowing. Right. 1mm juicy, free-flowing gel pen. 0.7mm non-glitter gel pen. They're not terrible. If you're looking to colour with if you don't mind doing, I think they'll be good with really fine point mandalas where you don't want glitter. I think you also will get a line. To be honest, they're not much different from fine liners. Maybe that's just all they are. Maybe I'm looking for something that already exists in a different way. I just like the, you know, the way that gel pens work. I like that. And I was looking for that, but this ain't them. So if you're, if like I say, like maybe I'm looking for something that already exists in a different format. So I bought these, and I'm going to use them just for work, for notes and things. So they're not going in my colouring stash. So I'm literally going to have to put them back in my work drawer. Okay, so the next thing that I bought, rather than book, I've already just given you a sneak peek, and this is the old YouTube made me do it. I saw, was it Emma Colours? Yeah, she bought both these and these. One, I don't know how many packs she bought, but these were £2.90 and these were £2.49 when I bought them. And I thought, and she said, oh, you know, they're really good and they're probably going to go up in price. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy them and try them. Even though I do really like colouring with gel pens, but I do like a wide variety of colours. But then I thought to myself, if you're doing a, you know, quite a basic mandala, to have a lot of the same colour, well, like she bought 3 or 4 packs of each one, or one of them, to have a lot of the same colour would be quite useful, because, you know, when you run out you've got another one. These have actually got fairly decent size ink cartridges in them. They're quite nice and fat, and they've got, I always do this with ink pens, they've got a big hole, and if they've got a big hole they've got a lot of ink in the chamber, as it were. So these turned up, and what Emma said and what everyone else says about them, oh, that's confusing because it goes the other way to all other gel pens. They are juicy, they are nice and easy to use. To be honest, these, to me, if they're not made in the same factory, I mean, they're both made in India, I think. Yes, made in India. And yes, made in India. These are by Flair Writing Industries, Chatty Diamond, and these are made in Kolkata. Link Pen and Plastics Limited. Who knows, their factory might be the same, but then there's probably quite a big difference between Chatty and Kolkata. I have no idea. So anyway, yeah, they've gone up in price now. These are still £2.90. These are £3.79 now, so obviously people are buying them. Will I buy more? I don't know. I mean, they work out 20, is it 10 or 12? Yeah, 29p a pen. You get a small range of colours. Useful if you're doing mandalas. Like, I definitely use it in a mandala book with fine lines. Yeah, I don't know. They're good and I'll definitely use them. Whether I'll buy more, I don't know. Okay, so the next thing I didn't actually buy for me, and I'm going to show you anyway, because it was my brother's birthday last Sunday, and we were having my brother and my mum. My brother's a single. He hasn't got a family. He's got us. Yeah, I mean, he's not married with children or anything. You know what I mean? He's very arty kind of thing. And we decided that for his birthday, my mum was going to come round and he was going to come round, and we were going to have art club, as we called it. We were going to paint stones, and I was going to give him all arty colouring stuff for his birthday, because that's actually what he wanted, because a couple of weeks ago he saw my stuff. I've already talked about this. He said it looked interesting. He wanted to have a go. We all had a go. It was fun. So I bought these shining metal paint markers, which look like this, and I bought them for our stone painting that we did, and we did really have a good time. I think we took my brother went home at 8 o'clock at night. It'd been round since 11. We had dinner and everything in between, but we sat out in the conservatory and we painted stones, and we did some colouring and you know, rock painting stuff. So that's what these were bought for. And yeah, we some of these have been used, some of these haven't, but we also used another set that I bought for my brother, and we used some paints and stuff. So that was something else that I bought, and not really for colouring. I don't think I used them in colouring, but they were brilliant for the stone painting. And then the next thing I bought, was, if you've already watched my swatchy video, I bought more gel pens. It's an addiction, I tell you. I'm not buying any more. I've tried all the cheap ones, Shuttle Art, Castle Art, Arteza. I don't rate any of those, to be honest. And then I've tried Chromatech, Colour Technique, and these, and I rate Colour Technique the best, I think, because them and Chromatech are the same colours and the same fluidity, but you get more ink in the Colour Technique. These I'll probably put on par with the Chromatech, but the reason why I'm keeping them is because they've got some really interesting colours in them. So I won't there's a whole review on them in video link thing. So I'll let you see, but there's some really interesting colours. So I bought those, and that was the last thing that I bought. Or was it? But we're going to move on to books now anyway. I'm literally surrounded by stuff. Let's move that out of the way and get a big part of books. Oh, it's not just me, is it? But this is it. I've actually stopped now because what I've got is, I'm sure you all do the same. You see a colouring book, you put it in your Amazon basket and you save it for later, save it for later, save it for later. And what my downfall is I'm surfing around on Amazon for something else and it says, oh, notifications about your basket, and the colouring book that you look at has been reduced from £5.85 to £2.50, and you go, oh, £2.50, I'll have it. Boof. Well, that's what I do anyway. Or a new colouring book comes out, like when this one came out. This came out, and when they first come out, they come out at like £3.03, and then a week later they go up to £5.29. So anyway, that's me. But I've stopped. What I'm doing now, instead of adding them to my basket, if I see a colouring book that I want, instead of adding them to my basket, I'm adding them to my wish list. And then when it comes around to my birthday and Christmas, my husband and my mum and whoever has got a list of things that I want to buy. So I'm not adding things to my basket anymore. And if they're not in my basket, then I won't get the, oh, that thing's gone down in price notifications. And if it doesn't do that, I won't be tempted to buy. Plus, I've got enough, well enough, with knobs on. In fact, I'm doing some decluttering and getting rid of the bits that I don't want. Yeah, so long story short, I bought this book. This is the first book. God, I'm so rambly, aren't I? I'm so sorry. Some people do a colouring chat. I do a hauling chat. So I bought this one because it was new. It came out. I hadn't got any mandala books at that point when I bought this, I don't think. I'm just looking at my shelf while I'm talking. And one of the reasons why I'm doing this haul is I want to put my stuff on the shelf. So anything on the shelf is old. Have I got any mandala books? Oh, I did have the Arcturus one, which is really fine point, and it really put me off. I'm just going to go and get it. Yeah, this is the only mandala book that I had, right? And it's really, really tiny. Like, look at that. And when it came, I was like, oh my god, I'm never doing that in a million years. It's actually in my pile to leave. And so and I'd never been tempted by mandalas because I thought they looked boring. Like, if I colour something, I want to colour a picture, and you know, and so I'd never been tempted by mandalas, but I am tempted by the colour by numbers. You know, the easy kind of do a lump of colour with alcohol inks and just, that was easy, wasn't it? Wasn't that fun? And so this came out and it was £3.03, and so I bought it, and it turned up, and it's like instantly it came. I think, no, that's not the first one that I did. That was the first one that I did. It came, I got my felt alcohol markers out, and I did this. And it was so nice, and it was so relaxing, and it only took me half an hour, and I finished work, you know, from my work desk, which is just there. I put a photo on my Instagram of how close my colouring desk is to my work desk, and how difficult it is every Monday morning turning the chair round from this desk and pointing it at the work desk. But anyway, this book turned up, and I coloured that one straight off the bat. And it was really enjoyable, really meditative. I didn't have to think, I didn't have to pick a colour, I didn't have to look and go, oh, let's colour match, what am I doing? Does purple go with orange and all this kind of stuff? What colour shall I do now? Because it all tells you, it's there on a plate. And so I think I did that one first, then I did that one, and then I started being a little bit more adventurous and using slightly different colours than they show. I did one what I call heritage colours. Oh, to the line. Now that was all pastels. That was what I call heritage colours, so muted tones. That was all fluorescent colours. And yeah, I'm using gel pens on this. I'm actually using these gel pens on this, just to see what gel pens look like in this book. But yeah, this book, I just was like, this was the first mandala book that I bought, and it came, and I think I've done 8 or 9 colourings in it already, 9 being the one that's on the go. And when this came, that night, Taskmaster was on. Now, I don't know if you know Taskmaster. Unless you're in the UK, you might not know Taskmaster. But Taskmaster was on, and I obviously had mandalas on my mind. And we were watching it, and in the background of Taskmaster is this kind of like damask kind of looking pattern with like black and red. And I was like, you know what, I'd really like to paint, colour one of these just black and red. And I was thinking, oh yeah, but it wouldn't work in here because obviously, you know, the colours are already marked, and you know, can't just, you need more than 2 colours in these ones. And I thought what I need is a really sort of like damasky, liney kind of display. And so I ended up surfing around the Facebook. I ended up surfing around Amazon and looked at a number of flip throughs of mandala books. I was looking for pattern books or fine line damask books so that I could do it in red and black. And I came across this one by Camelia Angelkova, and I thought actually this one would work because there's sort of like it's finer lines, and so I bought it. I think it was £3.53, and I did it. I did the, where is it? I definitely did it. Ah, here it is. I did the, no, it's not going to show great. This is flat colouring in the, what I said earlier about using just the classic colouring pens. So I did it just in 2 colours. And I actually, it's more laborious than I thought it was going to be. Not because it's 2 colours, not because it's, you know, a fairly plainish mandala. But because using these is like using, like I said, I want juicy 1mm gel pens. I don't want, it's like using office biros to do the colouring. But yeah, I've started a couple of others in here. This one I'm using the Ohuhu dual-ended watercolour markers. And this one I'm using these. So yeah, I got a couple on the go in that one. So I bought that. So this has turned into a show and tell colouring chat. Okay, so the next book I bought was this book. I'd seen this book, a couple of colourists had referenced this book, shown this book. When they did, I'm not great at colour matching. I've got a little colour wheel, and when I do colouring, I'm not very good at knowing what colours go with what. I'm very conservative when it comes to colour putting togetherness. And I saw this book, a couple of people had referenced it, and I looked it up on Amazon. It was really expensive, and I was like, oh no, I'm not buying that. I don't need a colour combination book. And then I saw it again, I think it was Emma Colours again. She showed a haul last month, and she always, I don't know if it was in a haul or whether she just was talking, it was a colouring chat, I can't remember, but she showed this book again, and I went and had a look at it up on Amazon this time, and this time it was not, I was going to say really cheap, it wasn't really cheap, but instead of it being like £30 or something, it was £14.89 or something like that, and it was being shipped from America by American Amazon. But the UK version, if I wanted to buy the UK version, it was still like £30 or something. And I had £16 left of my voucher, and I thought, oh, I'm going to buy it. So I did. It took a while to come because it came from America, and it's smaller than I thought. It made me laugh because it was called Japan Oversized Book. When I say small, it's like, I don't know what that is. 8x8 maybe, 6x6. The 6 3/4. Yeah, so just less than 7x7 inches. So it's a small book. But it is useful because it does show, like, some of these colour combinations I'd never put that together. But they show you a picture, they show you the colours that are used, and I think that's the Pantones. Well, if it's not, whatever. And then they show you using 2 of the colours together, 3 of the colours together, 4 of the colours together, 5 of the colours together. And it's like, okay, so when you're colouring, look at this one called Seaside Pool. You're colouring, you want to use this colour palette. This just lays it all out on a plate for you. And so, yeah, this is lovely to look through. And it sort of seeps into your consciousness. It's a bit like me watching Taskmaster and thinking, oh, I'd quite like to colour something with just the 2 colours. If you look through this, some of the colours seep, you know, combinations seep through your consciousness, and next time you're doing an olive, beige and black combination. So I never thought that I'd buy this kind of book, but I did, and so far I'm really enjoying it. I think the reason I'm so rambly is because you've got no one else to talk to about this, really, have you? Colouring stuff. If I go downstairs and said to my husband, oh, I bought this colouring book and I decided to this, that and the other, he would go, what? Go away. I'm watching the Grand Prix. Okay, so the next one I bought was another mandala book. Obviously I'd got into mandalas because I bought 2 of them, and I saw this one. It was mainly because I was really enjoying this one, and I'd realised I'd done 8 out of the, is it 24? There might be more, but I'd done almost a third of the colouring book already, and I was like, oh, it's going to run out. So I looked for another mandala colour by number book, and I found this Jade Summer one. I haven't done any in it yet. It's slightly finer, the lines are finer and the spaces are finer, but the numbers are grey, which is nice, which means I'll hide down a little bit. What I have done is picked out my subset of colours that I'm going to use out of my pens. Basically, I've made that. So that's me light yellow, that's me. I've got me pens picked out so that when I do the colouring, when I do the colouring, I won't have to, there'll be even less thought behind it than having to reach for the pens. And I did it on Jade Summer swatchbook paper, so I know this will be the exact colour, how they'll come out. So I bought that. Okay, now the next thing I bought, I haven't got to show you because I bought it for my brother's birthday. So I was starting to put together, bear in mind I started buying, this is back in April, and I started putting together some colouring books that he wanted, because when he came round and did some colouring with me, he said, yeah, my problem is there's no colouring books of things that I want to colour, because I think at the time he was colouring I'd showed him a Joanna Bashford cut book, and I'd showed him a Jade Summer flowery book, and he was like, yeah, and I said, well, what are you into? And he was like, well, you know, he's into sort of like dragons and reptile-y things and, you know, boy sort of things. And I said, you'll be surprised, there are colouring books for everything nowadays. And so I'd seen, there's a new lady colourist, Diane's Colouring Quest, something Diane something, and she showed was it her? A Fantasyland colouring book, I think it was her, a Creative Haven Fantasyland colouring book. And I saw that and I thought, right, I'm getting that for my brother, because, let me just put a picture here so you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to get that for my brother because it's, you know, it's dragons, it's mythical stuff, it's the kind of thing that he likes. And it was $3.99, great price, and it would definitely be one. So I ordered that for him, and it was the first Creative Haven book that I'd ever touched, because I haven't got one myself. And I was really surprised how good the paper felt. And I was like, oh, that's really good paper. I've never looked at Creative Haven books before. So then I started, like you do, flicking through the Creative Haven sort of back catalogue. And there was a few that I kind of liked the look of, but I was trying to reel in the amount of colouring books that I bought for myself. It didn't last long, by the way. That reeling in didn't last long. And so there was a couple that I put in my basket and saved for later kind of thing. However, there was one that I found really interesting, and that was this one, right? And when I added it to my basket, it said there was only one left in stock. And I was like, oh, there's only one left in stock. And I'm quite into actual, you know, art, Dali, Picasso, all that kind of thing. And when I watched a flip through of this, and I was like, you know, there's that Dali-esque sort of ness to it, of, you know, just the sort of bizarreness of it all. And so I bought, this is my first Creative Haven book. I bought it because I liked the paper in the one that I bought my brother, and that this one was the last one in stock, and it's sort of my type of thing. And I must admit, when it came, the paper is lovely in the Creative Haven books. Just trying to see how different it is to the Jade Summer. Yes, like Jade Summer feels like toilet paper compared to this. Really nice paper. But yeah, this one looks interesting. Definitely a pencil draw colouring one, I think. But I'm looking forward to having a go on that one. But yeah, that was a impulse purchase because there was only one left in stock. Okay, so now this is when I literally bought 4 colouring books on the same day. So how did this come about? Oh, I know why. I got a at work, we get, if we report a security issue, and this is to do with IT stuff, so spam, scams, frauds, all that kind of stuff, we have to log them and report them. And if it's the first time that one has been logged or reported, and it's a whole catalogue of things that when you report a scam, fraud sort of email thing, it then has to get logged online, and various things happen, and it becomes whatever. But if we log one that's never been, you know, a new one, we get a £10 voucher, and we can either have them for John Lewis or Amazon. I always choose Amazon, duh. And so I reported a scam, I got a £10 voucher, security voucher, and added it to me, you know, my cachet of money. I think I'd spent me a £25 COVID one, and so I bought all 3 of these with my voucher. Now the interesting thing, I think all 3 of them came to £12 altogether, because they're quite reasonable, these ones. But this was another Camila Angelova mandala one, and it's the black background one, the nighttime mandalas. And of course I'd been enjoying mandalas, got 3 of them books now, this is my 4th one, and I thought this would look really nice coloured with neon pens, and I need to find something that I'm going to use my neon gel pens, because I don't want to waste any pens I've got. That's why I'm using these classic ones like I did. I use the glitter ones all the time, and the metallic ones, I use them quite a lot, but the neon ones and the pastel ones, I haven't really got a use for them, and I just thought, yeah, I'm going to use them in this. So that was the next one that I bought. Look, I know you're just looking at the screen going, but why? Why, Lily? Why did you buy the Chibi Girls book? Because I see so many people flipping through the colouring books for the girls with the big eyes and the cutesy faces, and it's not for me. It's just not a colouring picture that I'd enjoy to do. I was like, literally I fast forward when people go, and I bought this Chibi Girl one, and I bought Chibi Girl 2, and I'm like, fast forward, not interested in big eyed girls. This was reduced, or I don't even know if it was reduced, it was £2.25, and the reason why I bought it was because it was a black background Colour Questopia book, and I really like the black background Colour Questopia books, right? Though I've only got, I say I really like, I think I've got 2. I've got that mandala one. Oh, I might only have 1. Well, I did only have 1 at that time. And it was just, so, I like the black background Colour Questopia books. My mum and my brother was coming that Sunday, and I thought, oh, I need something that my mum could have a go of. And she likes dolls. There's such a long story behind anything. £2.25. I thought I'll buy it, and then I can throw it in front of my mum, and she could have a go at colouring it. She might enjoy it, right? Anyway, it turned up, and I had it on this desk here, and I was working there, and I turned around after work, and I coloured this one in. And you know, I don't know if you know what they look like before their eyes are coloured in, right? They look sort of like that, and they look quite freaky. And the first thing I did was like, oh, I don't like her eyes. So I just coloured the black bit in her eyes. And I coloured the black bit in her eyes. And I thought, oh, she looks cute. And as soon as I'd coloured the black bit in her eyes, I did the rest. And I was like, oh, I really enjoyed that. And then I coloured her. I haven't done the background on that one. Then I coloured her, and then I coloured her. And these were all before my mum came round. I haven't finished this one yet because I don't want to do her dress pink like they're suggesting. I want to do it a different colour. So yeah, there's me thinking I would never buy a Chibi Girls book, and here I am enjoying colouring the Chibi Girls book. And I think it's just a simplicity of no need to think, just, you know, slap the colour down, nice flat colouring. It's all decided for you, and you end up with quite a cute picture. So it's gone up in price now, by the way. I think it went up the next day after I bought it. So, and I showed my mum it, and she said, "Oh, I really like that. Can you get me one?" Yeah. Basically, I still had £6 left of my voucher, and so I decided to watch through. Before I'm going to sleep at night, I watched through all of the flip throughs of Camelia Andrikova's on her. She's got her own YouTube, you know, flip through channel, and I watched. I was thinking, like, because obviously the 3 mandala books that I've got is not enough. I needed more. I just wanted to find the other ones that similar to how I would. I'm enjoying these thin line mandalas, because you know how some of them are chunks. I like these thin line ones. So I bought the flower mandala one and the clover mandala one, and I bought them both. They was both £3 something. Oh, £3 3 or something. Really not. This one's nice because it's got different shapes. But that's me done for mandalas. Right, the next thing I'm going to show you is what I bought for my brother. So you've already seen well, you haven't seen, you sort of seen the Creative Haven book that I bought him. I've also bought him this, but this one is going to be given to him for Christmas because he loves he's actually really into drawing cartoons and, you know, comic strips and stuff like that. It's what he should do for a living, really, but he's not. And I've got this book, and he saw it when he came round the first time, and he said, "Oh, look at that! That is a brilliant colouring book. I'd love that." So I actually bought him this, but I'm not going to give him this until Christmas. And I also bought him the Halloween one. So I should put a picture of it here. So the next book I bought these 2 books, but they're both from my brother. So he's been given the Halloween one, and this one's for Christmas. I then also bought him these 2 books. Now these are my copies. I'd actually bought this book for him at Christmas last year, but didn't give it to him and kept it myself. But this is really his sort of type of picture that he likes. You know, he likes sort of, you know, dark crystal, muppety sort of thing. So I bought him a copy of that. And when I was in the range, this was reduced to £3. This is my one. But I knew that he would like colouring because it's just cutesy. So I wanted to give him a range. I wanted to give him the comic book style, this reptiloid style, a dragon one, which was the fantasy one that I gave him, and a comic one. So he's got a sort of range that he could, you know, colour in kind of thing, especially as he thought there was no colouring books that he'd kind of like, if you know what I mean. Okay, so the next 2 books I actually bought for my mum. And because we were having an art club day, I was conscious of the fact that my brother would have his colouring books that he was being given for his birthday, and I wanted something that my mum would enjoy. And a few weeks ago we went to Hobbycraft with my mum, and I was looking through the colouring stuff, and she picked up this colouring book in Hobbycraft, and she loves Beatrix Potter. We've taken her to Cumbria before, and she's been to the museum, you know, Beatrix Potter's house about 4 or 5 times. She loves it. And she picked up this book, and she was like, "Oh, this is a really nice colouring book. Oh, this is a really nice colour." I said, "Yeah, it is a nice colouring book, Mum." I said, and she said, "How much is it?" And she said, "Oh, it's £10, £9.99. So, and she put it back on the shelf, and I'd already sort of thought, right, I'm going to get her that, you know, for her birthday. And so I put it in my basket on Amazon, and then she likes the Flower Fairies as well, and this is by the same printer, and I thought she might like this one as well. I'll put it in my basket as Amazon as well. So I added both of these to my basket. This was a few weeks ago. I'd added them to my basket to buy for my mum for her birthday, which is in August. And then obviously they were coming around for Art Club Day on the 16th. And I got an email saying that this one had reduced to, it went from $9.99 to $7.99. And I thought, yeah, I'm not going to get it. And then it went down to £5. And when it went down to £5, I thought, I'm going to buy it for my mum, right? So I bought it for my mum and I gave it to my mum. And then I left it, for some reason it stayed in my basket. It went down again and again and again to £4.30 something. So I bought myself a copy because I was like, oh, I bought myself a copy. This was still in my basket. It was still, I think it was £8.99 from Amazon. And it was still in my basket for my mum. And then I got an email saying that, not an email, but you know, the notification thing, that it had gone down and it went down for $7.99, then $6.99, then $5.85. And then when it got to £5 something, I bought it. But this is for my mum. So this is to go in the, to give to mum pile. So I've already got Christmas presents and birthday presents for people already. Okay, and then there's just two more. I don't know about you, I'm knackered recording this. Yeah, Colour Questopia. Now, this was the day before my brother's birthday, and I make the mistake of looking at stuff at night on my phone on Amazon, and I saw this black background, Colour Questopia, dragon, and just like the Chibi Girl one, it had reduced all the way down to £2, I don't know, £2.45 or something. And I thought, right, I'm going to get my brother one. And I thought, if I'm going to get my brother one, I'm going to get me one. So I put two of them in my basket, and then I was looking around thinking, what else is out by Colour Questopia? And this was a new one, and it was £3 instead of £5. They like I say, the first week they come out, they seem to come out for £3, and then they jump up to £5 whatever. So I put that in my basket as well. And these literally got delivered on the Sunday of my brother's birthday, and I gave him his one on the day, and these are my two. And that's it. Almost that's it. That's almost it, apart from there's almost one more last thing, is I actually went to into the shop, The Works, which is a sort of like art and crafty shop. I've been ordering online, you've seen bits and pieces that I've ordered in other hauls, but I actually went to The Works, and I actually went there to get some cheapy paint brushes and some pots because we was having this art club and we was painting stones, and I wanted like a plastic sheet to keep the table clean and all this kind of stuff. And I ended up buying, I'm calling it, it's just, yes, I know, alright, I know, I didn't need them, but I wanted to try them. They were only £2 and I wanted to see what they were like. So, and I'm actually going to do a review of various cheap gel pens. I also bought this because YouTube made me do it. I've seen, can't remember who, really sorry, the lady who started putting tracing paper between her pencil colourings, and I was like, oh, and it reminds me, do you remember the old wedding albums when you had the tracing paper, beautiful photo, tracing paper, beautiful photo? It reminds me of that. And so I bought that. I then bought two colouring books. They had loads and loads of colouring books, and my husband was holding them up going, what about this one? What about this one? I was like, no, no. And at one point I had like 4 in my hand, and then I was like, no, not going to do it. Just going to flip through. I stood and flipped through and said, I'm only going to buy the ones that I can go, yeah, I fancy colouring that, yeah, I fancy colouring that. And this one, £3. It's got some nice mandalas in it. Like I haven't got enough mandala, but I think we're up to 5 or 6 now. It's got a nice mix of big chunky ones that you can do with alcohol markers, and then fine line ones. And my husband went, oh, that's the kind of thing you like, you should get it. So I did. And then this one, similar really. It's a nice mix of mandalas, patterns, easy ones, difficult ones, so I bought that as well. Really didn't need it. When I do this video and I show you all the stuff that I bought, I actually think, oh god, I bought so much. This I bought for my mum. It was the last one. I believe it's flower fairy pictures again. Does it actually say? Oh, it's a mix. It's a mix of Margaret Tarrant, Renee Coke, Molly Brett, Hilda Miller. It was the last one in the shop, and I think it might be a bit advanced for her to start, but she'll love the images in it. She'll love these images in it. So I bought that for my mum. And that is almost it. Because then I ordered this. I had this in my basket. It reduced. It goes with my Van Gogh one. I've already got the Van Gogh one that I bought from the Works a while back. I had been keeping an eye on this one, and it got reduced to a very cheap price on Amazon. So I bought that. And then I decided that I was going to give my brother a set of pencils. And I didn't. So I bought him a set, and I've got a video coming out about it. And when they turned up, I thought, I don't want to give him a rubbish set of pencils, because what I don't want is, I don't want him to not enjoy colouring with pencils. I don't want him to have, you know, I want him to enjoy it. And I went for, I mean, I can't afford to buy him a set of polychromuses or some Prismacolors or stuff like that. But I didn't want to give him a set of, you know, scratchy Helix pencils or whatever. And I bought a set that everyone seemed to say was quite good, and when they turned up, they was just like, ugh. And they're not that great. I want it to be fun. So I decided that I was going to give him my set of 48 Arteza pencils. And if I was going to give him my set of 48 Arteza pencils, then I was going to buy myself the 120 set. Now, there was a little bit more thought to it than that. What happened was Arteza was having a spring sale, and these were reduced to £38. Plus, I had a 10% off coupon. So they was going to be, I can't work out what that is, £34 something. And I was like, oh, that's a really good price for them. That is a really good price for them. But I can't warrant buying these because I've got the 48 set, and I'm quite happy with the 48 set. And then my brain thought of a solution, which was give your brother the 48 set, because you was going to buy pencils anyway, and buy yourself the big set. So that's what I did. They're not in here because I've already put them in. I bought another one of these and put them in it. And I'm in the process of swatching them out at the moment. So, wow, wasn't this a naughty month? When I sit here with it all surrounded round me, I feel extremely naughty. But I also know that most of it I bought with my Amazon voucher. This I didn't. I bought it direct from Arteza. And I love them. They're like butter. I've done a 10 essentials colouring tag. And in it I say that, you know, I don't have every pencil under the sun. But for colouring, I recommend these, because they're just so, you know, they're not £150 like Prismacolors, which is the cost of them in the UK. They're not £200 like the polychromas, which they are in the UK. And one day, when I'm great at colouring and I want to have the perfect shading and I want it to look like a work of art and, you know, photorealism, I might use my polychromas for colouring. But for now, for less than 40 quid is what they cost me at the time I bought these. These are perfect for colouring. So, and I feel, you know, I objected to Arteza in the beginning, and now I don't. I'm going to be using in my colouring book. They're not spraying with water. They're not being hung in a gallery. They're just... Anyway, I don't need to ramble on. Wow. Anyway, this might have to be split up into 2 videos, because I have rambled and I have got to put all this crap around me away now. Thanks very much for watching. If you're still watching, well done, because that was a lot of stuff that I went through. But yeah, like I say, I have put a stop on myself now. I haven't actually bought anything since last Saturday. So my brother and my mum come round on Sunday. I bought that dragon and spring colouring book on the Sunday. On the Saturday, then it got delivered on the Sunday. I haven't bought anything since then. Yeah, no, nothing else has been purchased, and nothing else is on the agenda. There is one more thing that's on the roadmap, but I'll talk to you about that in another video. So thank you very much for staying around for this long, and I hope you found it useful and enjoyable, and I didn't enable you too much. Okay, take care everyone. Bye. I just went down and said to my husband, I just filmed a home video. And he said, that took a while. I've tidied the garage up while you've been gone. I said, do you know how much stuff I bought in a month? He said, I can imagine. You get a parcel delivered nearly every day. No. Anyway, like I say, that's it. That is really it. I am going to include a photo of me, of what it looks like facing this way, with how I've got the blind so the light works, and all the stuff that's around me. See you later everyone. Stuff. Just finished filming the haul video. That's how I had to have the blind. Stuff. And stuff. Yeah. What a mess. Time to tidy.